Hey everybody, and welcome. Today, we're plugging in, cranking the volume to 11, and diving into one of the biggest, loudest, and most over-the-top movements in music history, arena rock.
You know that feeling, right? You're at a show for your favorite artists, and it's this mind-blowing event with lasers, massive screens, maybe even some pyro. Well, the original blueprint for that modern mega concert was actually written decades ago. It all started with a style of music that was designed to be bigger than life itself. So, picture this. It's the mid-1970s. Rock bands are getting so popular, they literally can't fit all their fans into small clubs or theaters anymore. The music had to evolve. It had to get bigger. It needed to move into massive sports arenas and conquer a whole new stage. And that is exactly how we get arena rock. And here's the key. It wasn't just about playing regular rock music in an arena. It was music created for an arena. The whole sound was huge, the production was super polished, and every single part of it was engineered to fill these giant, cavernous spaces.
Really, the only reason this massive sound was even possible was because of some huge leaps in technology. Engineers came up with these incredibly powerful sound systems. We're talking giant stacks of speakers that could blast music with perfect clarity to someone sitting way up in the nosebleeds. Without that tech, arena rock just couldn't have happened.
So what did this music actually sound like? I mean, how do you even make a song feel like it can fill up an entire football stadium? Well, it turns out there was a very specific recipe. Okay, so the formula for a perfect arena rock anthem was pretty clear. First, you needed incredible, soaring vocals that a whole crowd could sing along to at the top of their lungs. Then you had power chords. That's a simple, heavy chord played on a distorted electric guitar that gives you that classic, chunky rock sound. And the drums. They were soaked in reverb, which is basically an echo effect. It makes them sound like they're being played in a giant gymnasium, which is perfect for an actual arena. It all builds and builds to this absolutely massive, unforgettable chorus.
And this era gave us one of the most powerful tools in music ever, the power ballad. What a genius invention. You know, a song that starts off soft and emotional, maybe with a piano just to draw you in, and then, boom, it just explodes with electric guitars and huge drums. It was the perfect way to take the whole audience on this amazing emotional roller coaster.
And the power ballad created the iconic moment of an arena rock show. You can just picture it, right? The lights in the stadium go down, that soft intro begins, and then tens of thousands of lighters flicker on, creating this incredible sea of tiny flames in the dark. It was this amazing, shared experience that made everyone in that massive space feel connected.
But here's the thing. Arena rock wasn't just something you heard, it was something you saw. The show, the whole spectacle of it, was just as important as the songs. These bands knew they had to entertain the people in the very back row just as much as the fans crushed up against the stage.
And these shows became these enormous theatrical productions. We're talking massive stages with parts that moved, explosions and fire that were perfectly timed to the music, and these incredible laser light shows. Bands wore wild theatrical costumes to look like larger-than-life rock gods, and of course, they brought in giant video screens so that everyone, no matter how far away they were, could see every drop of sweat.
Now, while arena rock was busy taking over the world's biggest stadiums, there was a rebellion brewing in these small, sweaty clubs. It was called punk rock, and it was the complete and total opposite of everything arena rock stood for. It was a real clash of musical philosophies.
I mean, this chart says it all. On one side, you have arena rock bands aiming for this polished, perfect sound. On the other, punk bands were all about being raw and messy. Arena rock had these long, complex songs. Punk songs were often super simple and less than 2 minutes long. And while arena rock stars were like these distant gods on a giant stage, punk bands were right there in the crowd's face. They were two totally different sides of the same rock and roll coin.
For a good decade, arena rock pretty much ruled the world. But, things started to change. By the late 1980s, audiences were getting ready for something new. A different, raw sound. Grunge and alternative rock from bands like Nirvana started to take over, and the era of the blockbuster arena rock show began to fade a little bit.
But just because its peak ended, that does not mean it disappeared. Not at all. In fact, the legacy of arena rock is absolutely everywhere in the music we listen to and the concerts we go to today. Its influence is just massive.
Seriously, think about it. When a huge pop or hip-hop star announces a massive world tour with this insane stage production, well, they're using the exact model that arena rock bands created.
power ballads are still huge hits in pretty much every genre. And that core idea that a concert should be this gigantic, unforgettable, shared experience for tens of thousands of people, that all comes from arena rock.
When you boil it all down, arena rock completely changed our expectations of what a live show could be. It took music out of the small clubs and turned it into this huge, global spectacle. It pretty much wrote the definition of the modern stadium concert.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. When you look at the biggest stars out there today, in pop, rock, hip-hop, whatever, who do you think is really carrying that torch? Who is putting on the kind of massive, theatrical, sing-along spectacle that truly captures the spirit of arena rock? It's a cool thing to think about. Thanks so much for hanging out with me.